Hi Gemini, this is your tarot reading for 2022, yearly predictions. Good to see you. I hope you're managing your new year so far. I know 2021 has been difficult, even though 2020 was awful for some people, obviously. But considering the events that are happening in our world with the pandemic, coronavirus, there's going to be a lot of context for this year, for 2022. Now, for this yearly prediction, you're going to get 12 cards, each card representing a month. And I'm going to look at how these cards come together with your major arcana, and what is going to be the theme for you as far as your narrative story, your personal journey. What is going to be the major themes and the minor themes for 2022. So, I'm not going to use reversals. So, first card, this is going to be January, February, March, and April. 3 rows of 4. So this row is going to be May through August. And then this row will be September through December. Okay, so let's look at what we have. Move these up a little bit. So I will look at your major arcana because it's going to tell me the major story arc. And then the elements, cups for water, wands for fire, swords for air, and pentacles for earth. I will look at those elements as well as they correspond to your astrological sun sign, and see how your energies, your personal energies, are going to play out during 2022. So for January, you have a 9 of Swords. You have a 6 of Pentacles. You have a 3 of Cups. And a Queen of Pentacles. For May, you've got a Queen of Swords. You have some queens here. Queen of Wands. Interesting. Knight of Swords, 3 of Wands. Now remember, swords are your element. They represent air. This is a 4 of Pentacles. This is a 10 of Pentacles. This is an Ace of Wands, and it's been showing up just about for every sign so far. I've done Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. And then the Lovers in December. Very, very interesting. Okay, a couple things. I don't see any major arcana in your spread, except the Lovers here at the end. And I'm not going to say the Lovers will be an anchor point necessarily, but I do see it, I do see issues of relationships lurking in the previous cards leading up to December. So this is going to be interesting because it also follows that Ace of Wands, which weirdly enough actually happened for Taurus as well. Only that 2 of Cups followed that Ace of Wands. So this is, yeah, this is pretty interesting. This is your only major arcana card. So yeah, your whole year could be about managing relationships, but I also see some career moves here as well. So, the Lover's card. Just so that you know, the Lover's card doesn't always have to be about romance. It can also be about self-love. It can be about unity. 2 things being a perfect match for each other. But I definitely want to look at these queens, because queens versus kings. Queens are passive energy. Kings are about action. Queens are about feeling. And I just think it's crazy how you have these three queens following each other heading into June. You get this Queen of Pentacles in April, this Queen of Swords in May, and this Queen of Wands in June. So as you head into summer, it feels like a lot of your passive energy, your feelings, are going to be going through a lot of shifts and changes. And I think it's also interesting that this is a sword, this is for Libra, and then Nine of Swords, which is for anxiety, and then you have a Knight of Swords here. Now, swords are your sign. So I kind of see those things as giving me insight about how you're dealing with this other stuff, meaning that you're coming into this year dealing with a lot of trauma. This is about worry and anxiety, energy vampires. The Queen of Swords, she's a very humble, somber woman because she's gone through a lot of trauma versus the other queens. The Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of Prosperity, happy home, happy family. And then this Queen of Wands is about inspiration. It's about you being inspired to do something, to take new directions in your life. And wands are attached to magic and power. So here in June, which might be a birthday month for some of you Geminis, and a little bit of May, last week in May, it feels like some of you will be coming into your power and taking direction in your life. So these queens are all about transitions, your feelings about your family, and how those feelings are translating into self-knowledge, insight, and changing your paths here as far as your life. And that's when we come to this Knight of Swords, which is about action. So if I'm looking at just the swords here, I think it's interesting. We go from a Nine of Swords, which is trauma, anxiety, the Queen of Swords, and anytime you see that one sword, it's about taking action, truth, clarity, making that decision. So this Queen of Swords and Knight of Swords, the Queen feels that she's going to take decisive action over her life. She's going to get past her trauma and her grieving and her broken heart. And then the Knight of Swords is the one who will take that action to, and the Knight of Swords is about not having any fear, not being afraid to confront things. And this is what's happening in July. So I feel like you're going to be going throughout the summer, going through changes in that you're going to feel like you need to make a big change in your life. And later on, in the middle of summer, when you get to July, you're definitely going to be taking action. Okay? So Knight of Swords is about not having fear. And maybe you have been afraid to take decisive action on a certain issue. Maybe you have to take a risk in love. And again, I feel like this Lover's card is sort of giving me a hint of some of the things you're dealing with here throughout the semester, throughout the year. So just know that the passive energy of the Queen of Swords is about trusting yourself, being assertive, being independent. And then the Knight of Swords decides, yeah, I'm just going to move forward. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what people think of me. I'm going to follow my dreams. And it's nice that you go from this Queen of Swords, from being assertive, and then you bump up the energy a lot more because this is fire. And air nurtures fire. Do you know that fire cannot exist without air? So in a way, you're kind of motivating yourself when you get to this Queen of Wands. You're finding success with your home, your family, and your career. You're gaining confidence. And I feel like that's what's going to push you to the energy of this Knight of Swords. Then the wands show up again, Three of Wands, which is about expectations, making new plans, waiting for those plans to manifest. Four of Pentacles. So as you head towards the end of the year, after this summer, I feel like you're just going to be raring to go to move on to new things in your life. But these pentacles represent earth, and earth is very slow. It barely moves. So just know that this Four of Pentacles, it's usually associated with stubbornness. Sometimes it can mean holding on to things for too long and being afraid of taking a risk. So you might sort of step back for a minute. You might confront an obstacle with your new dreams and your new goals. Okay? But just be careful that you don't revert back to being closed up and shrinking back from what your dreams are. And it could be that someone else is presenting an obstacle to you as well, which I think is more likely the case. I don't see you, falling back, but I feel like there's someone who might be an obstacle for you. This Ten of Pentacles, I feel like some of you Geminis might come into a financial windfall. And I think as far as finances, this Ten of Pentacles, whatever rifts you're having with your family or your kids, the money issues, I feel like in October that will be resolved. So it feels like this year, October, November, December, things are really going to start to go your way here. Okay? And this card was associated with achievement, financial security, emotional support, getting help from your relatives. But it definitely looks like a happy home life. And then this Ace of Wands comes in with the inspiration, the joy of life, and it's the creative fire, and the courage and the optimism. So you started this year pretty tentative and afraid. But by the time you get to that Ace of Wands, I feel like this is going to lead to a more nurturing relationship, but definitely insight and feeling that things are finally going well for you. So I'm definitely not crossing out romance, but I see a lot of good things attached to this. And backtracking just a little bit here, because I got caught up in these queens, right? Generosity, Six of Pentacles, applying for a loan, or maybe asking someone to loan you money. This Three of Cups, this is about family and friends you have affection for. So regardless of this first card, I feel like for the first 4 months, your friends are going to come through for you. And this Queen of Pentacles, it's going to be about you reassessing how you feel about your home life and wanting to do something about it. And that's when the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands come along to help this Queen of Pentacles. So this looks pretty good for you, Gemini. I'm especially excited about what's going to be happening for you near the end of the year. Sorry about that. But yeah, this looks really, really good. So, Gemini, I'm really excited about what's going to be happening for you towards the end of the year. You're going to have a very inspirational summer here. And the first part of this year, of course, is going to be about separating yourself from the things that are not for your highest good. Pulling away from the people who are not really there for you or who are not supportive, and finding people who are. Okay? So it's going to be a transformation. with your money. It's going to be a transformation with your relationships. It's going to be a transformation in how you feel about yourself. So congratulations, that was your reading. I'll see you online, Facebook or YouTube. You can find me at either one. So I wish you love and light, and as always, Happy New Year. And again, you have a great year ahead of you, Gemini.